Hi, and welcome to our video tutorial on how to select the place to call home. My name is Blair Sonicson. I'm a realtor with Royal LePage Dynamic Real Estate and have been in the business now for 40 years. It's my pleasure to speak with you today about the 18 things that we like to talk to buyers about when creating the search for their next place to call home. We begin first of all by having them identify for us areas that would be of preference to them within our city or around our city. So that gives us a chance to research a little bit of information for them and also learn from them what it is that's attracting them to that particular location. When they share with us what's important to them, it helps us to better acquaint ourselves with the amenities that will be available in those communities, such as community clubs or schools, education, as well as the language influences that may be available in the communities that they're getting involved in. It's important for us to know how long they've been looking for a home in this area. If it's just something that's come up recently, or if it's something that has been in the back of their mind for a while, or possibly they may even have grown up in that community. But to understand the motivation for them getting there helps us also to properly engage with them about that area or other areas that are similar if price becomes an issue or a concern for them. We often ask questions like, have you seen any homes in this area that are of interest to you or that are attracted to you? For example, driving up and down streets in an area, you say, boy, if that home ever came on the market for sale, we'd be interested. Well, we're interested as the agents working with the buyer in what is it that catches their eye. That helps us also to better understand what we need to be looking for in the homes that we're forwarding to them, together with when we are showing them properties, we can remind them, boy, this is similar to the one that you were mentioning over on 123 XYZ Street. So asking the question about what is important to them, to the buyer, to you, is what helps us to better understand where it is that you're at. How soon you're thinking of moving is also another question we like to ask. Sometimes people begin the stage of buying a home with only 60 days to be moving in. Very narrow time frames, and it reduces the opportunity of homes that they can choose from. Tyson and Nancy and Belinda and I, we like to sit down with the purchasers and talk to them about market studies, talk to them about past performances, talk to them about average selling prices and the availability of homes that are not yet on the market but will likely be coming to the market by doing market research in past years for that particular style of home and price range. Well, when you have a limited time frame with which to be moving into a home, it reduces the opportunity of possibly getting the best value for your purchase. So if you have a time frame that is 60 days to, even for argument's sake, 6 months, it will give a good window of opportunity for you to find the right home and also be able to acquire it at a reasonable price. We often ask as well if you have a home to sell. Sometimes purchasers are more interested in finding the next home than they are in worrying about selling what it is that they have. And this becomes that conundrum of what came first, the chicken or the egg. We need to identify the challenges that it comes forward in a transaction in advance by helping the buyer to know what their buying capabilities are, what terms or conditions need to be involved in the offer that will protect their interests, and at the same time make their offer attractive to a seller, choosing their offer over what may be 1 or 2 or 5 other offers that are on that same property. So asking the question about needing to sell is an important component and one that needs to be measured or weighed or considered by the buyer in advance of even looking at homes. Having an understanding of what you own, what its value is, what its saleability is, time on the market to be expected to take to sell, and then of course the possession dates that could be expected for a home like yours are also questions that have to be addressed in the buyer interview. You know, we have 12 questions left to go, so I'll keep going. One would be, for example, are you currently working with a real estate agent? it's not uncommon for people to feel that they have to talk to several realtors and get all kinds of people working for them. And it's really complicated when the buyer is being pulled in different directions. The realtor that they choose to work with needs to be one that has their best interests in mind and that is working with them in a way that they know, both the realtor as well as the buyer, that it's not about buying a home, it's about choosing the right home. And that comes through selection, and that comes through no pressure when involved in the process of looking for homes and making that buying decision. The typical things that are questions that will go along with shopping for the right place or the next place to call home are identifying what your future needs might be together with your present ones. So for example, the number of bedrooms or bathrooms that you would like to have, whether you're interested in multiple level type properties or you're looking for a single level type of property, character versus new, low maintenance, going through and considering yard lots or small lots, fenced lots, front driveways, back lanes. These are all questions that we identify as well in the process of narrowing it down to location and area. But when it comes right down to it, you're going to describe for us the best you can the features you're hoping will be available in your next home, and we will look for those features, created as a criteria when it comes to searching for that home, and make best use of your time when it comes to looking for properties. We often ask the buyer to make sure they've had a chance to discuss with a lender, someone that they trust, their pre-qualification capabilities, so that they understand that it's not just how much you can afford monthly. That isn't the right question. It's what makes up your entire portfolio of monthly expenditures. Things such as your mortgage payment, property taxes, fire insurance, life insurance, food and clothing, gas allowance, car payment, credit card bills. These are all factors that weigh in to the process and the decision making of how much you can afford for your mortgage. We also want to weigh in as well the fact that interest rates, though right now we're at a very reasonable rate, some say very close to free. We have to know that this condition will likely change in our future. And when that changes and your mortgage is maturing, we want to be at least aware of what those costs may be different in the event that you're purchasing something that's affordable now. We want to make sure, at least do our best, to point out to you what that will cost in 5 years from now, should the rates renew at a higher rate. We want you to be aware of what that costs may be. So it's not just about buying the home today, but it's also protecting your interests going into the future as well. These are important questions that you need to be asking, or we need to be providing you in this process of house hunting. There's oftentimes people have family members or someone they trust to come out and look at properties for them in advance of making an offer. And we like to ask that question up front so that we know the process and the time amount that we're going to need to satisfy your concerns regarding a home. The investigative processes right now, home inspections, an uncle or friend or family member that is coming to view a property, we have to coordinate those things in advance, obviously, of the preparation of an offer, and we welcome that. We also encourage the representatives to know that they're not warranting the home. When they're coming to look at it for you, rather, they're offering a blessing and possibly some things that you may not have seen, or things that you saw, but you just wanted to point out to make sure that you're aware that there'll be these deficiencies, as well as these items that may be requiring some upgrading in the near future. So having someone to consider or to be a part of that process is certainly something that's worthwhile. And at the same time, we need to know that in advance of viewings and showings and arranging for viewings for you. You know, it's interesting. I've shown many properties to buyers where I've asked them how many homes they feel they need to see before they buy one. And the answer always varies. It can be as simple as one. Show me the right one and I'm buying it. All the way to, well, I think 15 is a reasonable number. So don't limit yourself or put yourself in a box. You'll know based on how you feel, based on the lifestyle that's being offered by that particular home and the experience you have walking into the home, whether it feels like home. You won't have to be convinced to put in an offer. You'll be wanting to put in an offer. And those are the times where Tyson and Nancy and Belinda and I really share in the enthusiasm and in the joy with the buyer as we begin that next journey, which is the drafting and preparation of an offer to purchase. Questions are something that's often welcomed by us. You know, in our first interview, it's usually about an hour and 15 minutes where we meet with the buyer and we cover off all kinds of questions that they will have. We have a performance pledge and commitment letter that we provide to our clients where we're able to put their mind at ease on things that they may not even have considered, but to actually see it in writing, to know that we're going to be looking for specific things for them, that we're committing to provide information for them, that we're willing to research and gather information for them, really helps them to feel confident that their realtor is working with them as well as for them in the forefront as well as in the background to assure them that not only are they getting the right place to call home, but they're also finding it at the right price and with the right people. So going forward, I would encourage you to give some thought to what we've covered off today. If you'd be interested in receiving one of our worksheets on how to find the right place to call home, we'd be happy to email one to you. Please just send in to us at info@winnipeghomes.com a request for our right place to call home sheet, which is this one right here, and we'll email it to you so you've got that as a handout or something like a starting point. And then from there we can build a relationship that may lead eventually for us meeting and having a chance to talk about real estate and what part of your future we may be able to be involved with. Until then, thank you so much for joining us today, and I trust that this would have been time well spent for you.